Welcome to class, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the thyroid hormone with Mr. Noga. The thyroid hormones are located in the thyroid gland, which produces three hormones: the thyronine, which will be abbreviated as T3, the thyroxine, or the T4, and the last one is calcitonin. The thyroid hormones in the body that we have regulate many things in our body, like growth, development, metabolism, and it is usually mediated by the T3 and regulated by the T3. Um, Thyroid hormones like T4 and T3 enter the cell through transporter proteins through felicitated diffusion and passive diffusion down the concentration gradient. The signaling molecule is produced in the endocrine system of the body. It is by the front of your neck, and how is it produced? It's produced by the thyroid gland releasing the T3 and the T4, and it is produced under the circumstances that it will regulate the many body functions by like releasing it if it needs more energy, and for example, if a woman is pregnant, the gland produces more hormones. The T3 and T4 can act on lots of target tissues, for example, like the brain, bone, heart, muscles, and they carry the functions that are there. When the blood levels of the T3 and the T4 are a little bit too low, then it uses like an inhibitor to have more, or like get rid of some, and like control the amount that's being put in. How does it interact with the target cells? It interacts with the target cells by hormone receptor binding and many interactions with DNA. They enter through like the cell membrane through facilitated diffusion, and then they react with other molecules. The cellular response of it is when the THs bind to the thyroid hormone receptors that are members of the nuclear hormone receptor family. For example, in the picture down here, we see that the T3 and the T4 here are binding with to make the thyroid hormone synthesis. Then you see that it's going into the MAPK, which is like making more receptors, and it's like having a chain of other reactions as well. The signaling pathway thyroid hormone can be associated with many diseases. For example, the thyroid hormone is like necessary for growth and development, and if it's inefficient or excessive, or if it's like not if there's too much or if there's too little, then it can cause disease. For like example, the mental development can be affected, the physical development could be affected, and minor illnesses could come out. In addition to like affecting the growth and development of long bones, the thyroid hormone like signaling pathways also affects the development of the brain. Insufficient thyroid hormones in infants and young children will lead to stagnation of height and mental um, uh, like well-being. Here we can see that the T3 and the T4 and many of these here are being are communicating with the cell, and then they're going through the cell membrane, but then they're you see that they're interacting with the other different receptors of it, and then it's producing many of like the MAPK signaling pathways, and it's like FDK signaling pathways, and uh, the other signaling pathways, and then you see like lots of things result from it, and then they also depend on other stuff, like if it goes into this type of receptor pathway, then it goes into other ones, and then it needs more to yeah, survive. I hope you had a great day, and I hope you learned a lot about the thyroid hormone system and the communications. This is the end of the learning with Krzysztof, and have a great day, Spartans.